Your toddler comes in and asks for another drink of water and you just snap at them like, what do you need? That's your explosive raptor. It can show up when you least expect it. And usually, after you explode, you have this immense guilt and confusion, and you are like, what the heck just happened? You feel like a mean mom, even though deep down inside, you know you're not mean. And I know this is a problem for a lot of moms. It was definitely a problem for me several years ago, and I just couldn't figure out why I kept exploding like that at everyone when I didn't want to. Like, I wasn't actually mad at my child for asking for another drink, but it just came out. Like, they caught me off guard and I just couldn't hold it back anymore. Now that I'm on the other side and I've worked through calming my inner dinosaur and I've worked through all of the nervous system resets, I understand it for what it is. My body was in fight mode. I was on the attack because I did not feel safe. I wasn't aware that I didn't feel safe, and it wasn't like I was being threatened with like at gunpoint or something super serious like that, but my nervous system was in fight mode because it did not feel safe. This showed up in my life mostly as anxiety. Now I'm going to share with you just a short story. We got to back up. My kids were pretty young and I had 4 kids. My oldest has special needs. She had a lot going on medically. And I was definitely in fight mode. I was scared for myself. I was scared for my special needs daughter, and I had been like this since she had been born. And so my nervous system was in overdrive. My inner dinosaur was running the show. It was going to stop anything crazy from jumping out at me and attacking us or our family. And so I was on constant alert, and I would get anxiety attacks. I didn't know at the time that they were anxiety attacks, but I would just be over flooded with this anger or these emotions. In fact, I remember one particular night or morning because it was like 2 or 3 a.m. and I couldn't sleep. So I grabbed my phone and I came downstairs on the couch and I was sitting there scrolling my phone, tears streaming down my face. And when morning finally came, I just remember feeling so relieved that I had survived the night. It was that morning that I was like, oh my gosh, this can't go on anymore. Like, you have to get some help. I was so scared. And it was in that moment that I knew I needed help. And I was able to finally recognize this anger and this fear for what it was really. And so I just typed in like how to stop being anxious or something like that. And the search result popped up yoga. And I was like skeptical, but I was desperate. So I was willing to try anything. And I'd always kind of been interested in yoga, but never really jumped full feet in. So I decided to. That day, I rolled out my yoga mat. I watched a YouTube video, and it was immediate, the relief that I felt. When I stepped onto my yoga mat, I was intense. My mind was going 500 miles an hour. I was still scared. My heart was a wreck. But at the end of my yoga session, that very first one, I felt calm and peace for the first time in my life in years. And I didn't know that I could have that. I didn't know that it was possible to feel that way as a mom. Now, something I did learn right away is that feeling didn't last very long because my nervous system was so dysregulated. It was more natural for me to pop back into that fight mode and to be on alert. So I would do yoga. It would last for 30 minutes to an hour, and then I'd be all tense up and ready to go again. But I had made a commitment to myself that I was going to give it a try every single day. I think I was doing one of those 30 days of yoga challenges, and it made a really big difference. At the end of 30 days, I was a completely different person. Now, I am not suggesting you go out and try a 30-day yoga challenge because that can be even more overwhelming for parents. I mean, if you want to, please do. That would be great. Instead, I want you to commit to doing 5 minutes, only 5 minutes of breathing every single day. Because now that I have had training in yoga teaching and I've had my experience using it as a tool in my life as a mom, I know that the breath work is the most important part. The movement is great. It has lots and lots of benefits, and if you pair them together, it's really magical. But if you don't have a lot of time, it all comes down to your breath. Because when you completely 100% focus in on your breath, you get back control from the raptor. So I am challenging you to just choose 5 minutes out of your day. And you can fit this in at any point. Hit brew on the coffee machine and just breathe until your coffee is done brewing. I mean, it doesn't have to be like set a 5-minute timer and I'm not allowed to move. Don't be so strict on yourself. 5 minutes is just to let you know it doesn't take very much time to see a big difference in your life. If you related with anything that I talked about today, I would really appreciate it if we could start a conversation down below in the comments and just share our experiences. Let other moms know that they're not alone in feeling this anger. They're not alone in feeling anxiety. It helps to know that this is normal and natural, but it also helps to know that there's a solution. And so I hope you will try the 5-minute breath and get some relief in your own life. Thanks for being here, and I will catch you in our next video. Namaste.